Well, hey, I think we're live.
Yes,
How are
we
you, Deb?
are. Good morning. How are you?
Stuff all over the place. I'm good. Look,
I
I
like
look
your
like,
shirt.
oh, I'm a tough girl. This
It's
is
cute. I like it.
the gym near us that I love. And their clothes are really awesome. But look, I look like a radio host or something,
You
don't
do.
I?
You look like you are hosting your a radio show right there.
You can hear me okay, right?
Here's your mic.
I got this new mic because of podcasting and all sorts of stuff. So I thought I'd try it out and see how it was.
Cool. No, I like it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can
So,
hear you.
hi, everyone.
Hello, everybody.
Deb, it's August.
I have no words. Like, what happened to July?
I don't
It
know.
was July 4th, and then all of a sudden it was July 31st.
August 3rd,
Yeah,
whatever it is.
It's insane.
I know. So those of you that are new, we have a bunch of new people that
Mhm.
kind of came into our squad this week. Hello, I am Coach
Welcome.
Mary, and this is Coach Deb,
Hi.
and we are two of the coaches at Disruptive Nutrition. I guess I would call myself sort of the head coach, maybe.
Yes, I would agree.
And then we have a team of amazing coaches, and we go live every Monday at 11:30 Eastern time. And Deb likes to join me. I don't know that I'm going to get Deb for much longer though, because Deb is also a teacher. And so summertime, it's so nice because she's here with me, but I don't know if I'm going to get you.
I don't know. Who knows?
If you're online, then maybe you could sneak
I know, right? Maybe. But no, I like joining you on Mondays. I like this.
It is kind of fun.
Yep.
So, summer always makes me think of reading, and I wanted to tell you about a book I'm reading because I never get the book. I always read on Kindle, and this time I was like, I want the book, and look how big it is.
Yeah, that's a good book.
Have you read this?
I have not, but I know a couple of people who have, and they were like, it's absolutely fantastic.
I had never even heard of Kristen Hanna, and everyone's like, what? How have you not heard of her? So I'm reading The Nightingale, and so I bring this down, and I'm like halfway through, and my daughter goes, oh, I read that book. I have it upstairs. And I'm like, you read this book?
It was big with young adults, like maybe 2 years ago, because when
really?
I had a bunch of kids in 6th grade who read that book a couple years ago.
Wow. So what are you reading right now? I know you're always reading something.
I am actually reading Lady Clementine, which is a historical fiction book about Winston Churchill's wife. And it's really interesting.
Oh.
It's an interesting time period to read about. I finished The Other Einstein a while ago, and so now I'm like on this kick of, all of these famous men and their wives. So
that are the reason why they're probably famous to begin with.
Yes, exactly. I'm saying.
Tough girls. And I know you have a book club and that I'm actually a part of, but I actually have never shown up to. Sorry.
That's all right.
I read the books. I haven't, I'm not even reading that last one, but I haven't been able to go. But anyway, tell us what you're reading, because I'm always like, I'm halfway through and I need another book after that. Maybe I'll read that one, but I want some options. So tell me y'all what to do. I did hear the one about Alaska that Kristen Hanna wrote. It was really good. I can't get it at the library, so I'd have to go and buy that one.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, so today, Deb, all last month we talked about mindsets.
Yes, we did.
And it's my favorite topic to talk about because I realize how much we need it. In fact, you texted me yesterday that you were like, you on your coaching call in your members group this week, you got to talk about this because I'm having trouble with that. And so it's very important for all of us to be thinking about mindset. So if you ever want to go back to previous episodes, just go into the unit section in our Facebook group, and you'll see all the episodes there. And Deb and I did a whole bunch of stuff about mindset. Nicole actually joined me for one of those, Coach Nicole.
She did. Yep.
That was fun. So this month we are going to talk all about food.
I
know. But it's so funny because Mark McDonald, who's a celebrity nutritionist and one of our partners and loves disruptive nutrition, he and I were talking and he was like, people just don't know about food.
No, they don't.
They just don't know about food. And I was talking to somebody that's going to help me get my Instagram feed up and better because I hate Instagram. And so she is young and healthy and, all young and wonderful. And I was talking about, she was like, oh my gosh, I'm drinking my coffee right now because I'm fasting until noon and I'm dying. I have crumb cake sitting over here and I'm just waiting until noon. And I'm like, oh, can we not talk about Instagram for a second and just talk about food?
I know. Let me just, hold on. Let's take a
So
pause.
I literally spent 45 minutes talking to her about food. And
I'm sure.
she goes, Carrie, you are blowing my mind.
Mhm.
I have not heard about any of this. And I'm like, I know.
It's amazing to me though, the number of people, I mean, I had never heard about, you know, like fueling the way that we do. And we really talk about it as like fueling with food. But it's amazing to me, even though I thought that I knew a lot about food and a lot about what was healthy, I'm still learning, and you just get this huge, you know, it's like an education in addition to, you know, changing your lifestyle. But it's amazing to me, like, you know, the number of people who think they understand, and I know you're going to talk about this in future episodes, but who like think they understand proteins or think they understand carbs, and they just don't, or fats. I mean, come on.
Well, when do we learn this? Let's be honest. When are we supposed to learn this? Like in school, we learn about the food pyramid, which is stupid.
But now they have the My Plate.
The My Plate, which is still not very smart.
No,
I mean, it's not the pyramid, which is good, but it doesn't. We don't learn this stuff. And so when Mark and I were talking about this, and Mark McDonald is the one who really 20 years ago is the one that developed the foundational approach that we teach. Now we, because of the way that we teach it and the way our program is, we kind of take it to not a different place, but we kind of, I guess, focus a little bit more on the holistic self, I think.
I agree. Mm-hmm.
So we take what Mark has really invented and perfected for the last 20 years, and then realize that we could teach you all day long just exactly what to do, but for most people it's not enough, right? The mindset piece and a variety of other factors have to go into it. But the bottom line is, if we don't really know about food, we can't do anything right. All we think about, and all I knew about, and I was a college athlete, I didn't know anything. As soon as I stopped my sport, I didn't know what to do. That was the same for you after soccer, right?
Yep.
So what we don't really understand is not only that we need food to fuel us, but what exactly does that mean and why? Right? So I think we're going to start today just sort of talking a little bit about that. And then in the next few weeks, we're going to dig into protein, we're going to dig into fats, and we're going to dig into carbs, which are the macronutrients. When people say something about counting macros or tracking macros, all they're talking about are proteins, fats, and carbs.
Yes, exactly.
We don't track macros because there's no need to.
Mm-mm.
It's like tracking calories.
It is. It's a lot of counting and a lot of math.
A lot of math. I know. So what happens actually when we go on a diet or when we deprive ourselves with food is our brains and our bodies don't always work in the same way, right? We think we have to do something. We think we have to deprive ourselves in order to lose weight, because if we have too much fat on us, body fat on us, and we weigh too much in our own brains, then we have to just decrease food, and then that will make us lose weight, right?
Yep.
The problem is when we understand what food does for us, we realize when we do that, we're doing the opposite of what we want to happen. Yeah. And what's crazy is our bodies tell us.
Yeah, they do.
Let's go with this, for example. I was just talking to my trainer, Mark, yesterday about this, because we were talking about wine, because he got on the clean wine kick with us. And we were talking about toxins in our body. And I said, you know, with wine right now, because we that's what we were talking about, and how many toxins and chemicals are in wine. 300 pesticides and 250 chemicals can be allowed in a bottle of wine. It's crazy. And what happens when we put toxins in our body? And the toxins don't just come from, you know, wine. It comes from all over our environment. As soon as we put toxins on our body produces fat cells to protect ourselves from that. That's the job of fat cells. And so when we think about the fact that if we're gaining weight or if we can't lose weight or we're struggling, we got to think our body is telling us something. Our bodies are always talking to us.
Yeah.
And so when we're hungry, what is our body saying to us? It's okay. Like they're screaming at us and we're just saying, nope, nope. Like everybody says, I got to be hungry. That's a good thing. I should fast. But our bodies are telling us something totally different. Yeah. And we don't learn to listen to our bodies.
No. The amazing thing about your body is when you actually put your body into a state of deprivation and your body is screaming at you to give me food, like when you have that hunger and it then turns into the hangry, your body is screaming at you to do something and to put, to fuel yourself, to give it food. And then when you don't, the amazing thing about our bodies is what we don't do for our body's going to do for itself. So it's got to pull that nutrients from somewhere. If you're not doing it, your body's going to do it. But when your body does it, it's going to pull nutrients from places that we don't want to lose, like our lean muscle mass. I mean, we need our lean muscle mass, especially for women and men as we age. It's so important to have our lean muscle mass.
Lean muscle mass are where all of our nutrients are stored.
Yeah.
Right? Like we have all these amazing nutrients in our muscles. And when we deprive ourselves with food, our bodies are like, okay, well, I need the nutrients coming in. So those nutrients that are stored in your muscles, guess what? I'm going to grab those because you're not fueling me. So I'm going to have to get fueled elsewhere. Think about this. My cousin just had a baby.
Yeah.
And I'm just looking on Facebook of all the pictures of the baby. And I'm like, would you ever, like, I remember when Grace was born, for example, and I was a first time mother, I was so worried. I was breastfeeding and I wasn't giving her enough food. Yep. And I was like, so worried that she was going to be hungry or starving but yet we think that's okay for us.
I know.
What is that?
I know.
Right?
Yep.
And so what happens when we fuel our bodies correctly? And this is why, and I don't blame anybody for this at all. Because when we eat, when we don't know what we're eating, when we don't understand food and we eat, we will gain weight. And so we think, well, I need to just not eat so I don't gain weight. Well,
rather than
eating,
I was just going to say, rather than eating the proper foods in the right combination, which then helps you to fuel your body in a certain way. I mean, that's sort of why, and you talked about it last month, how, when you count calories and you're decreasing the number of calories, you can only decrease your calories so far before you've put yourself at such a deficit. And, as you've talked about, and you wrote a blog about, deficits are never a good thing.
It's
not.
Our economy, our body, nothing.
But people think that calories are created equally, which is why there's such a flaw in the whole calories in versus calories out, philosophy, because I could have a soda or I could have chicken, almonds, and apple. I mean, there's no comparison there. The nutrients that you're getting out of one versus the empty calories that you're getting out of the other one, you want those nutrient-rich and nutrient-dense calories. And that's why it's so important to sort of start reframing our conversation around actually eating food, but understanding food and thinking about what we need to do that's going to be the best for our bodies.
Yeah, it's totally true. It's like almost like when you're having that Coke or Oreo cookies and considering the calories on that, it's like you put this like plastic bag over your body, right? Like this, like you can't penetrate, right? You just can get the calories, but it's not going to do anything. It's just going to like bounce right off of you. But if you are having like food that will serve your body in proteins, fats, and carbs, it sucks it in like a sponge. Yeah. And so you might be taking in, that's what you mean by empty calories. Calories go in to give you energy, but they're not doing anything for your body. But when you're taking in calories that are filled with nutrients, your body's like, and then they use it to actually shed fat, gain lean muscle, and give you energy. Yeah. How many people have ever had like Sour Patch Kids for lunch and whatever you might have, and you like have that sugar high, and then That
And
is
then you
because you
crash.
have taken in empty calories. Your body has not used it for any good.
Yeah.
It just spikes your blood sugar, which causes you to store fat.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't get the nutrients it needs, so it's still going to pull nutrients from your muscles, right?
Yep.
So we need to understand this basic philosophy of that food is important for all of us. For my newborn second cousin that was born, right?
Yep.
We worry so much that they're not eating and not gaining weight and not getting healthy.
Mm-hmm.
When we feed our newborns correctly, which
Mm-hmm.
is proteins, fats, and carbs, go look at your formula, go look at the ingredients in your formula, then your baby gets to its optimal weight.
Yep.
When we adopted Ellie, we met her at 10 weeks old, and she was 5 pounds when she was born, and she was just very, very malnourished.
Yeah.
So when she was in the this foster home in Malaysia, we were living in Singapore at the time. She was in this foster home in Malaysia. They had formula and they had to water it down because they didn't have enough. Okay. So they watered down her formula. So we saw her and she was just very, very skinny. She looked very, very sick.
Yeah.
So she was malnourished, right? How many of us are actually malnourished,
Mm-hmm.
right? Without having the energy. Now, our bodies, as we get older, will actually do a lot to try to protect itself.
Yeah.
And we'll hold on to the food, the crappy food, especially that we do feed it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when we gain weight and we gain inflammation, and our bodies will develop those fat cells to protect ourselves from the malnourishment.
Yeah.
But when you're a baby, it looks a little different, right?
It does.
And then we sent her back. We had to send her back to the foster home for about a month or so, 3 weeks. And we sent with formula, and she came back and she was super fat, like almost unhealthy fat.
Yeah.
Like didn't look like the same kid. They had all this formula, and we told them that we would send them whatever they needed. And they almost like overdid it.
Yep.
And she has this little birthmark, and the only way we knew it was the same kid is because she had that same birthmark.
Yep.
And she wasn't moving at all. Nobody was taking her out of a car seat. She just sat right? So for another month then, she was like, it was just unhealthy in the other direction.
Yeah.
And then when we got her, we were able to put her on a regular schedule. She was moving. And then she kind of got herself to her optimal weight.
Yep.
And I just think about that as exactly what we're doing with our bodies. When we're not using food as fuel correctly, we're malnourishing ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
And then our body will overcompensate and store food when we do feed it, especially if like we've gone on a low calorie diet and then suddenly go back on, or we are fasting and then we suddenly eat again, or we cut out our carbs and then we suddenly have the quesadilla. Our body holds on to it, and then we gain back not only the weight we lost, but more weight.
Right, but more than that. Yeah, exactly. Well, because your body learns to adjust to whatever it is that you're doing to it. I mean, our bodies are absolutely amazing things. So what they do to protect themselves, but then what they also do to, benefit themselves, it's the amount of adjustment that they go through. But it's always amazing to me in like the first week when people are doing, and we have a group that are starting their first week of the challenge this week. I love the first week because by the end of the first week, people are like, I have so much energy. I haven't had this much energy in years. And it's basically because they're giving their bodies the food that they need. They're giving their body, in 1 week, exactly. And they're giving their body like clean, whole nutrients. So, and sometimes they're just amazed by, okay, maybe they did eat healthy even before, like myself. I mean, I ate healthy. So it was really just for me rebalancing what I needed to do, because I will admit I was heavy on the carbs, but I thought that was healthy. I thought that's what I was supposed to do.
Overnight oats is a perfect example of how people think they're healthy. And so that
every morning.
That brings up a really good point. Healthy versus correct. You can be healthy, but if you're not correct in your portions and in your balance of proteins, fats, and carbs, then you're going to gain weight. Karen was one of our clients who gained 25 pounds going vegan. Yep. She went super healthy, but she gained weight. And so it's healthy and correct. And what I love about that too is when you know food, you can eat correct and not healthy.
Yes. You can.
And that's
You
okay.
do it occasionally.
And because you are constantly boosting your metabolism, you are constantly, your body turns into like a fat burning machine. Once it starts to learn that you're going to do this for it, then once a week you have your appreciation meal and you have no guilt and you eat whatever the heck you want. I have 2 appreciation meals a week because my body fires at such a rapid pace now. You can do that too.
Yeah, I tend to stick to 1, but I can do 2. But you know, I still got to work on my mindset there.
Yeah, that's okay. I know one of our Karen, one of our diet disruptors, says she has a really hard time with the appreciation meals, but that just goes to show how misinformed we are and how badly trained we've been, right?
Yes.
So the big lesson here is like food is fuel, but understand it's got to be the right types of food. And so that's what we're going to dig into. And there's a difference between healthy and correct. Just because you're eating healthy does not mean that you're balancing your blood sugar. And that is the key. When you balance your blood sugar, and that is the whole thing that Mark McDonald's figured out 20 years ago. And that is the unspoken key to permanent weight loss.
Yes,
is blood sugar stabilization. But the books will never tell you that.
No, they won't.
And even Joanna, who's one of our coaches, works with type 2 diabetics. She never even knew that.
Yep.
And so there's so much that we don't know. We're going to dig so much into all of this month. I'm very excited. But the other thing that's happening August is, speaking of food as fuel, you know, we have been running our membership group for years now. People cannot join the membership group though, just because you want to. You actually have to do our 4 weeks to wellness lifestyle launch to be invited into our membership group. And there's a lot of reasons for that. We've played around with it in different ways, but that is really because you need to understand the approach really well to get the most out of the membership group. And we dig in deep in there, and I want nothing to have to be held back. Everybody should be able to understand what we're saying. And if you don't go through the 4 weeks of wellness, it's harder to understand all of those little nuances. But part of our membership program, which we have been doing for years now, is our recipe subscription. And I get so much excitement every month, right? When we release a new set of recipes, and coaches get them early. We do. Because, you know, I develop them early. I'm working on October right now. I develop them early, and then you guys get them early and try them out, and you're like, yay! And so we just released August recipes a couple days ago to the membership group. All sorts of messages about how excited they are. So we decided, because one of the things that's so important to me is that you have a place at Disruptive Nutrition no matter where you are. And if you're not ready to do our 4 weeks to wellness lifestyle launch yet, that's okay. We'll wait for you. But I want you to be doing what you can to be able to live this lifestyle. But even if you don't know all of the pieces and we're not able to truly support you in it. And a lot of times we talk about these simple PFC meals. Like you just said, like apples, almond, and turkey. Okay. There's only so many apples, almonds, and turkey I can eat, right? Like grab and go PFCs are awesome, especially in a very busy work day. But at night, I want to be able to, you know, sit down with my family and have a family dinner that everyone's going to love. I don't believe that I should eat something different. I'm not going to have turkey, almonds, and an apple for dinner. That's ridiculous. So our recipes, oh my gosh, Deb, right?
They're so good. They're delicious. I mean, they really are. And you don't feel like you're eating, it's like a gourmet meal.
And so many ingredients, yet it's still PFC balanced. And that's the hardest part. I work really hard to make these recipes, because anything that you see, I have magazines from every type of healthy living subscription you can find. And it is impossible to find them correctly balanced.
It's hard.
Not one. Every single recipe I look at and start from, I am tweaking 100 ways from yesterday.
Oh, I'm sure.
And it's pretty much, that's my fault.
Time. It's time consuming.
So we finally, now we're going to release the recipe subscriptions to the public, just the recipe subscription part of the membership. So it's at a lower rate than the membership group, because you don't get all of the membership perks. But you do get the recipe subscription. So every month you get our month of recipes that are PFC balanced. They're super yummy. They have to be simple. Because I am not like a gourmet chef, but I have, all last year I trained with a cook who helped us write our recipes. And so this year now I'm doing them with her guidance, but I do them myself. And so I'm very like, there's tons of variety and they're amazing. And then every month I record a tutorial training on tips and tricks and resources for the month of cooking. And what, like my kids, I make my kids cook some of them to make sure they're that easy. And they're even easy enough that my husband can cook them. So sometimes I'll be like, okay, Peter, you're doing dinner Monday night. Here's the recipe. And that's my litmus test, truly. My kids are one thing, but my husband's a whole nother thing. And if he can cook them, it's great. So we are finally releasing it this month. It was going to be last month, and then it didn't happen. And now it's this month. So we are launching our recipe subscription. Now, the recipe subscription is $17 a month. And every month they get these. You cannot get these types of recipes anywhere on the market. There's nothing there. And Mark McDonald doesn't have them. Mark's like, these are amazing. Mark's going to be subscribing. And a video tutorial from me with tips and tricks and all of that. So every month you're getting that. So it's $17 a month. For this week only, just launch week for everybody. Right. We're going to offer it at locking in the rate at $12 a month. So it will never go up. If you do it this month and you stay subscribed, it will be $12 a month for you forever, for as long as you're subscribed, which is great. Right? I know. And then, I like my secret codes. Stay till the end. I have a secret code for you. And just for staying till the end, and this will not be anywhere else, you get an extra bonus if you subscribe to the recipe subscription for $12, not $17. That option will end on Sunday. We'll leave that open just this week, and then we'll never offer that again. But if you send me or Deb the secret code of food is fuel, okay, that's the secret code. Food is fuel. And you sign up for the recipe subscription, we will send you you get a choice, either the 101 PFC meal ideas. So, we have the simple grab and go 101 PFC meal ideas. We love that. So you have your recipes at night and your grab and go quick meals during the day. This makes it super simple. We will throw that in. That's normally $19. We're going to give that to you. Or I will send you a mini nutrition kit with PFC shake recipes, because that's the other thing that makes it super simple. By doing quick protein shake or a protein bar and having that as part of your day as one of your meals makes it a no-brainer. So I know I always do like a protein shake and a protein bar, a couple of quick grab and go PFC meals, and then a dinner at night. Right. It makes it so simple and so easy. So now with the recipe subscription, you can do the 101 PFC meals or a nutrition kit with PFC shake recipes. The mini nutrition kit will give you a couple of shakes and a couple of other like fizz sticks and detox tea and some fun stuff like that.
Yeah, but
I know.
That's a hard choice between those the two bonuses. I would sign up for the recipe subscription, but
I know you can't buy. Like you can buy one of the other two. Right. If you get one and then you could grab the other one. So that is it. Food is fuel. That is like just the message that I really want to share this week. And the recipe subscription I'm very excited about, because it's really finally an opportunity that people can really start to implement this.
It is
a little bit anyway. Now, if you're in the 4 weeks to wellness for 6 weeks, you're part of the recipe subscription.
Right. Okay.
So if you end up joining our 6 weeks, we will pause your recipe subscription fee for those 6 weeks that you're in the program.
Oh, okay. So even people who are doing the program right now can sign up for the recipe subscription too.
Yeah, but I always tell them to wait. The people that are in the program right now, just wait until the end, right?
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. But those people who are not, this is the perfect opportunity to do more experimentation, because I know that there are a lot of diet disruptors out there who are, experimenting with and sort of learning our concepts. And this is a great way to sort of get your foot in the door, get your feet wet.
And know that you're doing it right. You know what I mean? Know that you're doing it on point. And like a lot of the time, you'll make a lot of these recipes on Sunday night, and then you have them during the day.
Yeah.
And don't even necessarily go to all the grab and go. You just do like your
recipes. No, I do the recipes and then I put them in, I section them out into containers, and then I have my own version of grab and go.
Yeah, exactly. I don't do that.
And that works for me. Other things work for other people, but everybody does this lifestyle their own way, but we all are using food as fuel.
Yep, correctly.
Yes, exactly.
So stay tuned for the rest of our month in my new microphone, and let us know what books you're reading, and go grab the recipe subscription. It's disruptyournutrition.com/recipes.
Okay.
We'll make sure we put it in the comments too. And let us know the secret code Food is Fuel if you want one of those 2 options for your gifts. Okay? All right.
All right.
But you got to get the recipe subscription to get the gifts.
Yes,
That's clear,
exactly. Right. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, $12 a month. We could probably do the math per day, and that would be not a lot.
No, especially with the amount of work I spend doing this darn thing.
Yeah, I know it's a lot of work for you. So yeah.
Okay. Yes, but it's so good. I like, if anything, it's good for me.
Exactly. No, I know.
So, all right, Deb, thank you for joining me. Have an awesome rest of your day. Diet Disruptors, it's so good to see you. And we will see you again next week. Bye.